Hello everyone, welcome to GS Core. I am Krishna Gupta. So today we'll be looking at the very important thing with respect to the prelims examination, that is the micro detailing of syllabus. If we look at the syllabus of UPSC examination, there it has given in a very specific line that the geography of world and India, and what are the different aspects: social, economic and political. So here if we try to look at this line, so we are unable to understand that what is UPSC asking specifically in the exam, what is its intention, what will be the basics, what will be the basic things that UPSC will focus on. So a lot of students, they find difficulty in understanding that how these things will work, how this syllabus can be broken, how it can be detailed, and how it can be broken so that all the factors and all the aspects can be completed one by one. So in this today's session, we will be diving into the detailing of the syllabus, which will be done in a quite macro manner of geography for part 1. So what we have done here, we have divided the whole syllabus part into 5 parts, and today we will be discussing the first part here. So if I want to discuss the 5 parts of the geography subject, so if I want to divide the geography subject with respect to prelims examination, so first part here it comes out with respect to the physical geography. Okay, physical geography, it is quite related to the physical aspects. For example, we see the interior of Earth, the formation of Earth, origin and evolution of Earth and solar system. Then we dive into the we say the formation of continents and oceans through various theories. Okay, so this is the part of physical geography. Then in the next part comes very important part, that is geography of India. Geography of India. We can also call it as the physical geography of India. Okay, so it is physical geography of India, a very important aspect where we study the length and breadth of India. First thing, we see the various topographies, we see the mountains, we see the plains, plateaus, the coastal regions, islands. So these are studied in quite detail. We also look at the different river systems, we look at the climate of India, why the climate of India is like this, why the factor, what are the factors which are behind the climates of India. Okay, so this part will be covered in the physical geography of India. Then next comes an important part, that is the human geography. Okay, in human geography what we see, why human beings are important, what has been the dominant factor in shaping the world in the way it is or in the form it is like right now. So human beings have played a very important role in shaping the world, be it with respect to the, we say, civilization, be it respect to the, we say, settlement system, industrial development, okay, be it respect to the we say agricultural system, or we can say the behavior pattern of human beings. So there are various factors to which we understand that how the human beings have evolved with time. So we will be looking into the different micro details that where UPSC can ask question from this part. For example, we say the population growth in India and world. Then we can also look at the migration pattern of India, how the people are getting migrated. So this will be studied in the human geography part. Next comes an important part, that is the economic geography. Economic geography it is very important. Why? Because whatever we do, whatever human beings do, it is a part of, we say, development. We are growing and we are developing. But how these factors are growing and developing, how we can map or we can measure the growth and development. So there are different various aspects through which we see that how this growth and development is measured. First thing, then we dive into the things which help in this growth and development. For example, we have different sectors: agriculture sector, industrial sector, we have tertiary sector, then we have, we can say, the primary sector. There is agriculture, and there we say different kind of farming systems, how this farming system works, what are the different farming practices, how this farming system are supported by the soils present in India, what are the different types of soils present in India, what is the implication of this soil present in those particular regions, how these soils have formed. So these things we see, it is part of the economic geography, and how it is resulting into the ultimate economic development of the region and country. So this will be developed covered in the economic geography part. Moving next, we have another thing that is quite important, and it is more related to the current affairs aspect, that is contemporary issues. For example, recently we see that there was a GLOF phenomena had occurred in Sikkim, that is glacial lake outburst phenomena. Now, when this thing has occurred, there has been a quite disastrous situation. Lot of life have been lost. The region has been devastated completely. The infrastructure present, it was uprooted. The kind of the activities that people used to do on daily basis, it was disturbed. So why this thing has happened? Okay, what are the factors which are involved in such kind of disasters? Okay, so those things are part of contemporary issues. We try to link the basic concepts of contemporary issues and those with the static part or the part of other syllabus. So here we will be combining our this micro detailed syllabus in 5 parts, that is physical geography of India, human geography, economic geography and contemporary issues. So today we will be discussing the first part, that is the physical geography of India. Sorry, the physical geography. The first part of our micro detailed is the physical geography. What is physical geography? First thing I want to ask you, what is physical geography? Why physical geography is important? Okay, why physical geography is being studied in UPSC examination? Okay, what are the different phenomena which are interrelated with the physical geography? So this is a very important question that is needed to be asked to ourselves first, making it a very important part of the UPSC syllabus with respect to prelims. If you look at the previous year's questions, you might look at the questions which are related to the interior of Earth. It might be related to the ocean currents. It might be related to the sea surface temperature. It might be related to the different vegetations of India, different vegetables of Earth, different climates of world. For example, Mediterranean climate, monsoon type of climate, equatorial climate, British type of climate, Laurentian climate, okay, the presence of deserts. So why this setting is here? Why these things are placed like this? It has to be studied through the part of physical geography. Physical geography, it explains why there is a desert. It scientifically explains the presence of desert. It scientifically explains the presence of the particular type of vegetation. It scientifically explains the various formation of continents, formation of oceans. So when we look at something, okay, when we look at something or some phenomena and we scientifically know that what is the reason behind their presence, what are the different phenomena are working for the formation of those places or those concepts. So here we see that this part we will be studying in the part of physical geography. Now, if I want to understand physical geography, here I can divide this physical geography into four major parts. First part is the general geography. Okay, first part is general geography. Second part here we have geomorphology. Second part is geomorphology. Third part is oceanography. After oceanography, we have climatology. Okay, and the next part here we have biogeography. Okay, so these are the basic division. This is the basic division of the physical geography, where we can divide the complete syllabus of physical geography into these parts. Okay, so general geography, where will we be where we will be understanding the origin of earth and origin of universe. Okay, how this uh, planets have formed, how the star has formed, how the, we can say, current studies are going on, researches are going on for their formation. Okay, in first part. In the geomorphology part, we will be looking at the different kind of landforms have been formed through different processes. What are the different landforms? If we look at the different types of rocks, why these rocks are different, what are the characteristics of those rocks? Apart from that, what are the different types of landforms which are a result of different weathering and erosion phenomena? Okay, those will be studied in geomorphology. In oceanography, we'll be looking at the different ocean currents, how these oceans have formed, what are the bottom topography of oceans, what are the different mineral resources which are found in ocean, what are the different phenomena that ocean is looking at, what are the different kind of life which is surviving or which is flourishing in the oceans. Those part will be studying in oceanography. In climatology, we'll be looking at the different climatic phenomena. For example, what is atmosphere, how it is formed, what are the different components of atmosphere. Moving forward, looking at the temperature distribution of atmosphere, horizontal and vertical. After this, we'll be looking at how this atmosphere plays an important role in different climatic phenomena. For example, there is jet stream. How these jet streams are formed? What are the importance, impacts of jet stream? Then we'll be looking at the monsoon. Okay, different climates. This will be studied under climatology. Under biogeography, we'll be studying the different types of soils first. Okay, different types of soils. What are the soils, how this soil are formed, what is the soil profile, how the soil erosion is taking place, what are the distribution of soil in India and world, what are the, we can say, the utility of the soils, how the soils are important for human beings and for the economic aspects. So degradation of the soil, this part will be covered under the biogeographical part. So starting first with the general geography. In general geography, first we'll be starting with the origin of the earth. Okay, it is the origin of the earth. So in the origin of the earth, we'll be seeing that how earth has formed, how universe has formed. Okay, previously it was seen that there were various theories. The theories were like teleological. Okay, those were like theological, those were like just propagated that this might be the thing that was formed by the act of God. The theories also said that one time the gravity was one of the major thing for discussion. So gravity became one of the major reason for the formation of earth and universe. So In this origin of the earth, we'll be looking at the different theories through which the earth has formed. So here we'll be looking at the various earlier theories. Okay, earlier theories like the binary star system, the nebular star system. So those were the origin of these theories. Then we'll be looking at the modern theory, which was scientifically more proven. Okay, it was scientifically more evidence. So here it comes modern theories. In modern theories, one of the very important theories, that is the Big Bang theory. Big Bang theory, it has to be studied in detail. Who propounded this theory? Why this theory is so important? What were the factors for the formation of those theory? So, next to modern theory, we have star formation. Star formation, I will ask you a question. How the star, our star or solar system, the sun was formed? Very simple question, but still very effective. When it was formed? What were the factors behind its formation? What were the stages in which the star or sun was formed? So we'll be covering those parts in the star formation topic here. Then after the formation of star, we see that we have our solar system. We have our solar system. How our solar system is formed? Why these planets are at those places where they are right now? What were the forces behind those planets and stars configuration? So this thing will be studying in the part of the solar system. After we see that the earth has formed, the solar system has formed and the star has formed, we have next topic as the evolution of life on earth. Evolution of life on earth. So here, when the earth was formed, earth was not the same it was right now. So how the earth was looked at, how it seemed, what were its characteristics, how many layers it had. So first thing here we'll be studying, that is the layers of earth. We see that currently the earth is in the initial stage or the primordial stage. So how the layers of earth were present, how they were formed, then we'll be seeing that with the formation of layers of earth, there is evolution of lithosphere. Evolution of lithosphere. How the lithosphere has formed, what are the different aspects of lithosphere. Okay, so here we'll be seeing the different uh, the lithosphere of, or we see that the different parts of earth, the crust of earth. Okay, here we have different crust, that is oceanic crust, and also we have continental crust. So we'll be looking at those part. Then how the evolution of atmosphere has taken place. How the evolution of atmosphere has taken place. Why the evolution of atmosphere has taken place, how the atmosphere has changed, what were the factors which resulted into the changing of atmosphere. So those will be covered in the part of evolution of atmosphere. Next we have this now atmosphere is formed, but if we look at the earth, we have land, we have air, and we also have water. Therefore evolution of hydrosphere. Evolution of hydrosphere. So how the hydrosphere is right now, what are the different components of hydrosphere we'll be looking at. Now after this thing, the next very important thing we'll be looking at, that is the geological time scale. In geological time scale, if we see that the earth has formed around 4.6 billion years ago, but the evolution of the lithosphere, it took after some time. The evolution of atmosphere, it happened after some time, and the evolution of hydrosphere, it also occurred after some time. Then there was a very continuous process of their evolution combinedly. Okay, so we will be understanding all those things through the geological time scale. Now, after geological time scale, we'll be seeing that how the earth is mapped. Okay, here we'll be studying the different how the earth is mapped. Here we'll be looking at the latitudes and longitudes. How the earth can be studied, how it can be mapped precisely, how the components of the earth's surface, they can be mapped properly. So these things will be understood through the latitudes and longitudes of earth. For example, equator. What is equator? Equator is a latitude or longitude? Okay, question. You have to answer it in the comment box given below. Now, after this, we'll be looking at the motions of earth. What is rotation? How the earth is rotating? What is revolution of earth? How it is revolving? Which is the orbit? What is perihelion? What is aphelion? What are the implications of the revolution of earth? Why there is difference in the duration of day and night? Okay, questions have been asked in the prelims examination from everything that I have said you right now. Okay, from every aspect. Why the polar regions have 6 months of daylight and 6 months of no light, or 6 months of day and 6 months of night? Why this is happening? So these questions have been asked by UPSC, and which can be understood by the motions of earth. Next is the inclination of earth's axis. Inclinations of earth's axis, what is its implication? If the earth is tilted, what is the result? If the earth was not tilted, what have been the scenario? So this will be understanding in the part of inclination of earth. Next thing here we have the standard time. The standard time and the date line. Standard time and date line. We see that we have two important lines which are passing through 0 degree and 180 degree. The 0 degree it is prime meridian and 180 degree is the international date line. What is the significance of those two things? We'll be understanding in the standard time and date line. Then we see that there is another event which is called as eclipses. Okay, eclipses, that is solar and lunar. Why these eclipses are taking place? What is the setting of the earth and moon which is resulting into such eclipses? So we'll be studying those in detail in this part here. So this is the part of general geography, okay, which will be looking in detail in the prelims discussion and prelims subject. After general geography, we will be looking at the geomorphology. Okay, geomorphology, one of the very important basic part, or one of the topic which forms the fundamental basis of the geography subject. So that is geomorphology. If I want to study geomorphology, in the previous general geography part, we have seen that the earth has now formed. The earth has now come to its recent time form, that is right now. But what are the different components which are defined in the earth, the interior of earth? Therefore, first topic for our study, it becomes the interior of earth. First topic is interior of earth. In the interior of earth, we study different types of phenomena, okay, different types of things which are important for the understanding interior of earth. For example, we study sources. So here we have direct sources, we have indirect sources. So those will be understood in quite detail, and these sources, they are being studied through the seismic waves. Seismic waves. So what are the seismic waves? What are the types of these seismic waves? How these seismic waves are generated? If I go to the generation of the seismic waves, I have earthquakes. I have earthquakes. So we need to understand earthquakes, the origin of the seismic waves, and what these seismic waves do. Okay, what are its effects? We'll be studying them. Then as we go to the interior of earth, we find a very important phenomena which is happening inside the earth, and which is one of the major reason for the presence of life on earth, that is magnetic field or geomagnetism, or it is called as geomagnetism. Very important. A lot of questions have been asked over the geomagnetism, how the geomagnetism is studied, how the geomagnetism it is reversed, what are the reversal cycles of geomagnetism, what is the effect of the coronal mass injection of sun, and what is the role of the geomagnetism in protecting it. So these have to be studied in detail. So as we move forward in the part of seismic waves, we have two types of waves which we'll be studying in detail, that is body waves and surface waves. So how these body waves and surface waves, they are propagating inside earth. This has to be understood in quite detail. So we'll be looking at it. So when we see that we got some information after the studying of the waves which propagated throughout the earth. So here we get something that is important. We get the structure or the internal structure of earth. We get the internal structure of earth, and we get this through the study of body waves, and we also get it through the study of surface waves. Okay, when we go to the internal structure of earth, we get some information like we have a crust. As we go dive into the crust, we next thing we have, that is mantle. As we go to the mantle deep inside the earth, we have core. Okay, then we are also be looking at, there are different types of cores, that is outer core and inner core. Outer core and inner core. What are the significances of these two core? What are these cores made up of? How these cores are being studied? So we'll be studying them in detail. Now, as we see that we have some information about the interior of earth. So we see that we also have different types of rocks which are present over the earth. So next topic here we have, that is minerals and rocks. We have minerals and rocks. So as we see the minerals and rocks, we have the different types of minerals of earth, that is major minerals. We have major minerals which are found over the surface of earth. Now if we study the rock, minerals and rocks, we have two important things to study. First thing is the rock cycle. First thing is rock cycle, and second thing is what are the different types of rocks. Okay, in the rock cycle we see the formation of different types of rocks, and uh, in those types of rocks we study the what are the different types of rocks and how they are formed in the rock cycle. Then we look at the what are the different rocks, they have different minerals. we see minerals in rocks. So this is a very important part here which we need to understand, because there are questions being asked on the different minerals present inside a rock. Like, what are the major minerals, what are the minor minerals, what is tantalum, where it is found. Okay, so to answer such kind of question, we need to understand that how these things can be taken into account through micro detail of syllabus. Now, as we look at the different types of rocks, we have three different types of rocks which we need to be studying in detail. That is igneous rock, next is sedimentary rock, and next part is the metamorphic rock. What is the difference between igneous, sedimentary and metamorphic rock? How these rocks play a major role in our daily lives? What are the different uses and applications of such rocks? So those will be studying in detail in this part. Now, moving to the next part, as per the aspect of UPSC syllabus, we will be studying in detail the earthquakes. We'll be studying in detail the earthquakes. What are the different types of waves? Okay, for example, body waves, surface waves. What are the different types of zones? Okay, if we study the part of body waves and surface waves, we see that we have shadow zone. What is shadow zone? What is the importance and significance of shadow zone in understanding the different layers of earth? What are the different types of earthquakes? What are the different types of earthquakes? How these different types of earthquakes occur? What are the natural causes of earthquake? What are the anthropogenic causes of earthquakes? What are the effects? What are the frequency of earthquake? How we can locate the epicenter of an earthquake? What is an epicenter? Then we study an important part, that is distribution of earthquake. We study distribution of earthquake. How this earth, it is having different earthquakes, means the earthquake, they are distributed. How we can know that this particular region, it will always have the earthquake? There is there will be some particular regions, those will be having very limited earthquakes or no earthquakes also. So why this is happening? What are the reasons for this part? So this we study through the different observatories which are present over the earthquake regions. So this is the important part which will be studying in the part of interior. Next topic here we have with respect to the volcanoes and volcanism. Next part is with respect to volcanoes and volcanism. So what are volcanoes? How volcanism occurs? What are the different types of volcanoes? Those will be studying in the part of volcanoes. What are the different types of volcanoes? I'm asking you this question. What are the different types of volcanoes? Okay, I'm asking with respect to the landforms or physical features. Okay, there will be two types. First will be, that is in the form of mountain, and second type, it will be in the form of plateaus and that part. So answer this part here. What are the different types of volcanoes that we will be going to study? Just write it in the comment box provided below. Then we see that what are the intrusive volcanoes. Basically this is the part of the volcanic landforms. Okay, so there are two types. First is intrusive and second is extrusive. extrusive volcanic landforms. This will be going to study in quite detail. Then we'll be seeing that because of the volcanism, there are some of the features or geographical features which happen over the earth. For example, we have geysers, we have springs. Why these geysers have formed, why these springs have formed, what are the origin? So this will be studying in detail. Then we'll be looking at the two major types of uh, volcanic activities, that is active volcano and dormant volcano. Active and dormant volcano, what is the difference between them? Does India has a volcano? Does India have a active volcano? Does India have a dormant volcano? So these things will be studying in the part of active and dormant volcano. Then we have very important topic here, that is distribution of volcanoes. In the distribution of volcanoes, we see that we have different types of volcanoes present over the various regions, which is basically studied through the plate tectonics. But we have very important part here, that is Pacific Ring of Fire. Pacific Ring of Fire, where we'll be studying in detail the different volcanic features. Okay, so this is the first thing, that is the volcano, types of volcanoes, what are the landforms which are related to the volcano, and the distribution of volcanoes over the world. Then after this we study the different forces or the different landforms which are present over the surface of earth. Different processes which are formed through the different processes. For example, here we'll be studying the endogenetic forces and we'll be studying the exogenetic forces. Okay, endogenetic forces, what is it? What it leads to the development of. What are exogenetic forces? What it leads to development of. What it leads to destruction of. So this will be studying in quite detail. So here we see that if I want to see what are endogenetic forces, so these are we can classify it with respect to the sudden forces, and we can also classify it with respect to the slow forces. Okay, slow forces, that is diastrophism, and sudden is with respect to the catastrophic forces. Okay, then those classification will be looking at, it results into the formation of continents and oceans. Okay, continents and also mountains. Now after this we see that we have exogenetic forces. Now exogenetic forces, it is acting outside the surface of earth, it is not acting internally, this force is acting internally. So exogenetic forces, this is basically studied through the weathering and erosion. Okay, weathering and erosion. So in the process of weathering and erosion, what are the agents of erosion? So if we see the agents of weathering and agents of erosion, we have water, which is also called as fluvial. Then we have air, which is also called as aeolian. Then we have ice, which is also called as glacial. Then we have we can say movement of air or moving water in oceans, which is called as tidal. Okay, so here we see that we have different types of weathering and erosion, which is resulting into the development and destruction of landforms over the surface of earth. Okay, there is a process called gradation is being happening. Okay, erosion and gradation, which is leveling up the ground also. So here we see the different type of the endogenetic and exogenetic forces. Next topic here we will be looking at, that is the formation of oceans and continents. The formation of oceans and formation of continents. We will be looking at through the distribution of oceans and continents. So to study the distribution of ocean and continents, first we need to study how they are formed. So the first theory through which we understand this, that is the continental drift theory. In continental drift theory, we see basically the formation of continents and oceans, what were the forces, what were the evidences, and how these things have worked for the forming of a basic theory on which the whole subsequent theories were based. Okay, so on the basis of this part, we have different types of mapping of floor. Okay, after this continental drift theory, we study the sea floor spreading theory, or what is sea floor spreading. In this sea floor spreading, we study what are the factors which are resulting into the sea floor, how the sea floor is formed, what are the consequences of the formation of this sea floor, what are its result. We'll be studying it here. Then after sea floor, we'll be looking at what is convectional current. Or convectional current theory. Here we'll be understanding what are the different convectional currents, how these convectional currents have played an important role in understanding the continental drift, the seafloor spreading, and combining all these three theories, we have very important theory which which have evidences, which have the scientific proving, which have resulted into the location of the volcanoes, location of the earthquakes in the contemporary times. So not predicting, not forecasting, but we can forecast them where they will occur. So this is the plate tectonics theory. What are the different types of plate boundaries? What are the different types of plate movements? What are the hotspot volcanism? How the how the mountains are formed, how the volcanoes are formed. Okay, what are the bases on which the different landforms on the earth they are forming, how the continents are moving, how the oceans are moving, what is the differential rate of movement of continents. Okay, so all the, not continents but plates, so all these things are explained in quite detail in the plate tectonic theory. Now, after this thing, we'll be studying very important part here, which is respect related to the landforms, which is related to the landforms, that is landforms and their evolution. In the part of landforms and their evolution, what are the different what are the different causes? What are the different causes for the formation of these landforms? What are the different geomorphic processes? So here we see that what is erosion? And deposition. What are the geomorphic processes? How it works? What are the geomorphic processes? What are the erosional landforms? Okay, if I see water in the terms of rivers, okay, air, water, wind, okay, glaciers, so they have both the characteristics. They form erosional landforms, they erode the land, and they also form depositional landforms. They also form depositional landforms. So both these things, both these landforms, they are formed by the rivers, wind, glaciers, okay, and also it is the groundwater. So all these things, okay, they are also called as agents of erosion. They are also called as agents of erosion, which causes the erosion of a landform, and it also causes deposition of a landform and changing the characteristics of the landforms and also their evolution. So discussing them, will be studying the different types of, we can say, the landforms associated with rivers. For example, the landforms which are present in youth stage, then it is mature stage, then it is old stage. Then we'll be looking at the different erosional landforms. Okay, erosional landforms like V-shaped valley in terms of rivers. In terms of deposition, we'll be studying delta. So that is with respect to rivers. In terms of wind, will be looking at the deposition in the terms of sieves, barkans, and in erosion in terms of mushroom rocks that is formed by wind. Next is glaciers. Glaciers play a quite important role in the mountainous regions. If we look at the erosion and deposition part, so the erosion, we see the various kind of the arc valleys, okay, arc valleys which are present in the, we can say, the mountain ranges. Now deposition is also being caused by them. For example, we see that the formation of the moraines, okay, moraine plains, it is one of the part of glaciers. Groundwater, very important. Groundwater, we see the movement of groundwater, it also results into the formation of caves, which is a result of a erosion, but it also result into the formation of, we say, stalactites, stalagmites, okay, and cave pillars. So it is a depositional landforms. So in this way, we'll be studying different types of landforms which are associated with the different agents of erosion, which is basically evolving, helping in the evolution of landforms over a region. Okay. After this, we also have another type of agent of erosion, that is waves and tides. Okay. With respect to the erosional landforms, we have some the sea cut platforms, which is a part of the erosion part. But we see the deposition of sand, which is resulting into the formation of beaches. So it is a result of a depositional landform. So it also result into the formation of lagoons. Okay, the reefs, lagoons basically. So it is a part of the depositional landform, sandbars. So we will be studying in them in quite detail. Then we'll be looking at the weathering process. The weathering process, how the weather, what is weathering, what are the different factors which are related to the weathering process, what are the different processes, for example chemical process, for example biological process, physical weathering, hydration, oxidation, reduction, how these things, how these processes are helping in the weathering process. We'll be studying them in quite detail. We'll be seeing that what are the biological weathering processes, what is burrowing, how a plant roots, it helps in the weathering. Okay, how effective is the exfoliation, how effective is the, what is the, we can say, the dome stores, how they are formed. We'll be seeing them in the part of weathering. How this weathering process is resulting in the formation of soils, very important. It is the part of weathering process, how soil has resulted into the formation of the soils. So we'll be studying even in detail. So these soils, they result into the formation of biomes, what is leaching, what is mass movements. Okay, mass movements, very important. What are the different types of mass movements? Soil creep, okay, landslides, debris flow, debris fall. So these are the types of landslides or mass movements. So it will also be studied in detail. What are the different types of mass movements? Then we'll be looking at the different landforms which are found across the world. For example, mountains, types of mountains and peaks, fold mountains, fault mountains, plateaus. What are the different types of plateaus? Formation of plateaus, types of plateaus, what are the significances of plateaus? Then we'll be looking at what are the plains, how these plains are formed, what are the significances of those plains. Then moving towards the next part, okay, here we'll be concluding the part of geomorphology. Next part we'll be studying is the part of climatology. Next we'll be looking at the part of climatology. As we all know, the earth has an envelope of layer, okay, which is called as atmosphere, which is responsible for the presence of life on earth and various geophysical phenomena. So what will be the structure of atmosphere? What is its utility? We'll be studying him in detail. What is the temperature variation of the atmosphere? How the temperature is varying in atmosphere? Is it increasing? Is it decreasing? We'll be studying the heat budget. What is heat budget? What is insolation? What is terrestrial radiation? So this part we'll be studying in the part of heat budget. How this heat budget is playing very important role in the different, we see the survival of all the biodiversity over the earth. Then next we'll be seeing the different processes which are happening over the world, okay, because of this part. So next is the atmospheric circulation. In the atmospheric circulation, we'll be seeing that the atmospheric pressure, how it plays an important role. Then we'll be looking at what is the different types of pressure zones. What are the different, we say the variation of pressure, okay, how the pressure is different in the equatorial region and the subtropical region, how this pressure is distributed among around the world. Then we'll be looking at the different uh, gradient forces. What will be the frictional forces? What will be the Coriolis forces? So how the wind is formed? How the wind is formed? This will be studying here. Then we'll be looking at the, with respect to the winds, what are the types of winds? Okay, what are the different types of winds and what are the different movement of winds? Different types of winds and different movement of winds. For example, there are planetary winds, those are permanent winds. Then we see that there are seasonal winds, there are local winds. What are these winds? What are their types? We'll be studying them in detail. Then an important part here comes with respect to the air masses. That is air masses. What are air masses? What are the significance of air masses? What are the different types of air masses? How the characteristics of air masses changes with the movement. Okay, so those will be studying in detail. Then studying the air masses, a very important topic, will be studying the extratropical cyclones. Along with that, after that we'll be studying the tropical cyclones. What are the differences between these two types of cyclones? How these two cyclones are formed? What are the implications of these two cyclones? Then we'll be studying after this the water in the atmosphere. Here we'll be looking at the different types of the processes. For example, evaporation. What is evaporation? What is condensation? What is humidity? What are the types of humidity? Absolute humidity, relative humidity. Those part we'll be studying in detail. In this way, we'll be understanding that how the water is circulating among the atmosphere. Then studying this part, next we'll be looking at the precipitation, very important. The precipitation, how the precipitation is occurring. We also call it as rainfall when there is a normal pouring of water. So next is precipitation. What is precipitation? How it works? With the precipitation, we'll be looking at types of precipitation. Types may we have orographic rainfall, we have convectional rainfall, and we have conventional rainfall. So these three types of rainfall we have here. We also have cyclonic rainfall, we have frontal rainfall, and we have monsoonal rainfall. What is the distribution of rainfall? What is the distribution of rainfall over the world will also be studied in detail. Next phenomena, jet streams. What are these jet streams? We'll be looking at detail. Then we have the polar vortex. Next is El Nino and La Nina. What are the implications? How they impact monsoon. Very important. How they impact monsoon. So those things will be studied in quite detail here. After that, we'll be looking at the different climates of the world. Different climates of the world. For example, equatorial region have one type of climate, throughout the world equatorial type of climate. In the tropical zone, we have three different types of climates. First is we have monsoon type of climate. Second thing, we have a kind of savanna type of climate, and the third thing, we have desert type of climate. So we see a variation of the climates when we look at the different regions, and we see the variation in the precipitation and temperature in those regions, resulting into the formation of different climates and different climatic patterns over the world. Now, after completing this part, we have a very important another topic here, that is ocean and oceanography. Next is oceanography. In oceanography, first thing we'll be studying, that is water which is present on the surface of earth. Water which is present on surface of earth, it will be studied in the form of hydrological cycle. What is hydrological cycle? We'll be studying in detail. What are the different components of hydrological cycle? What is the process of hydrological cycle? After understanding this, first thing we'll be looking at, that is the oceans. We'll be going into the oceans. In the part of ocean, first thing very important, we'll be looking at the different components of ocean floor. The different components of ocean floor. Then we'll be looking at the relief of ocean. Okay, the relief of ocean or ocean floor. What are the different relief features that are formed in the ocean floor? For example, in the ocean floor we have four types of division. First is continental slope, then shelf, then there is continental slope, then there is a deep sea plain, abyssal plain, and there is oceanic trenches, okay, and the Hadal zone. So those will be studied in detail. There are also minor relief features, for example mid-oceanic ridges, seamounts, gyots, okay, and atolls. Then another important thing we will be looking at, that is the temperature of ocean. We see that the temperature of ocean at equator it is different, but the temperature of ocean near the poles it is different. Okay, why this difference is here? We say that the temperature of the ocean or sea which is present in the closed area is different from the temperature of ocean which is an open area. So it is different. Why it is different? Those will be studying in detail. What is salinity? Okay, what is salinity? We'll be studying in detail how it is affecting the density of ocean, how it is changing the characteristic of ocean. Why the salinity is very important with respect to the sustenance of life on the inside the ocean. Therefore, salinity. We'll be also studying very important factor here, that is the movement of ocean. Movement of ocean water. Movement of ocean water. If we see here the movement of ocean water, we have three important things, that is the currents, oceanic currents, we have warm ocean currents, we have cold ocean currents, how they move. Then we have tides, what are the different types of tides and how they are formed. Then we have waves. So these will be studied in detail. Then we'll be looking at the different types of ocean currents. For example, the forces behind the movement of ocean currents. For example, there are primary forces, there are secondary forces. What are the characteristics of the ocean currents? Surface ocean current and deep water ocean current. Those will be studied in detail. Then next important thing here we have with respect to resources, that is marine resources. We see that on land or on water we have various resources. Inside ocean also we have biotic resources, abiotic resources, metallic resources, non-metallic resources, organic resources or non-organic resources. So all these types of resources and the significance of those resources will be studied in quite detail. Then if we have a resource, so there will be a larger pool of countries, those will be competing for those resources. So to divide the resources equitably among the countries, we have law of the sea and UNCLOS. These are the bodies which are looking after the segmentation of the territorial waters, okay, or the oceanic waters with respect to the countries which are present near to them. Then we have a very important subject here, that is biogeography. Next subject is biogeography. In biogeography, we will be studying very important thing, that is the soil. First thing is the study of soil. In this biogeography, the first important thing we'll be studying, that is soil. How the soil is formed. What is the characteristic of the soil? What are the different factors which are resulting into the formation of soil? What are the uses of soils? How these soils they are resulting into the different variations. Okay, their different agricultural regions. So those will be studying in the soil part. Also the different horizons of soils, different characteristics of soil. Now, in the contemporary time, we have seen that the soil erosion is a major issue. So, studying soil erosion and soil degradation. The next part here we have, that is vegetation resources. Vegetation resources. For example, if I have a vegetation, will it be a resource? Yes. The forest. They play a major role as a resource. They provide wood, they provide oxygen, they provide food, they provide horticultural products, they provide different minor forest produce. Therefore it is one of an important resources. What are the economic significances of these resources? What are the social significances? What are the cultural significances? Those will be studying in detail here. How the forest can be developed? What are the different factors which result into the formation of forest? What are the different classification of forests? What are the different types of forests? What are the different significances of forest? Okay, after this we'll be studying the different classification. We have equatorial forest, then we have desert vegetation, then we have grasslands. Okay, as a part of forest we'll be studying those also as an add-ons. Then we'll be studying the different types of conservation of forest techniques. For example, what is social forestry, what are the agroforestry, okay, what is community forestry. So these will be studying under the afforestation or conservation of forests. So UPSC also asks questions from such areas. How the forests are conserved? What are the techniques and methods used for the conservation of forests? What are the modern techniques for the conservation of forests? So those will be studying here. For example, recently UPSC has asked with respect to the Miyawaki technique. Miyawaki technique. What is Miyawaki technique? How it is resulting into the conservation of forests. So those will be studying in detail. So this part we see that we have covered the physical geography, where we have seen the general geography, we have seen geomorphology, we have seen climatology, we have seen oceanography and biogeography. So guys, just go through the I will advise you to go through the link of GS Core, where the micro detail of the syllabus is also present there. You can, if you want an PDF, you can download it from there and you can go through it. So it will help you to understand that what is needed to be studied in prelims examination. You can tick them, you can note them that yes, this part is completed, but anything it is not to be missed with respect to prelims examination, because something might be very easy or it might be difficult, but if you have that capability and caliber, you will be able to understand those things and grasp these things. So to take this to the next step, we also have prelims Sampoon Telegram group. The link for that group will be providing you in the description. You can come to this group and you can participate in the prelims question discussion on the approaches, that how a question can be approached, what are the different hurdles that students face in the prelims attempt while attempting the prelim questions or MCQ questions. So you will be able to learn these techniques and you can apply them very thoroughly in the UPSC examination. Okay, so guys, try comment how did you like this video of the micro detailing of syllabus. Okay, and meet you in the part B. Thank you.